Imagine for a second that I came to you with a pitch.
Okay.
I tell you, I have a system that will allow you to do twice the work in half the time.
I'd probably think you were selling me something.
You'd think I was trying to sell you a dubious supplement or maybe a pyramid scheme, right? It sounds like that classic late-night infomercial promise.
But wait, there's more.
Exactly.
It does sound like a scam. But in this case, it's actually the title of a book by Jeff Sutherland, who was a former fighter pilot, funnily enough.
And he decided the way the world builds software was just fundamentally broken.
Completely.
And that book and the methodology inside it is what we are deep diving into today. We are looking at the Class 11 notes for CS326. The topic is Scrum.
And if you're listening, you need to pay close attention.
Yeah, because this isn't just theory anymore. We're looking at the syllabus, and the development shop phase of the class is kicking off.
That's right. The time for abstract concepts is, well, it's pretty much over. We're moving into the actual execution phase.
So the mission for this deep dive is really to shift your mental gears.
Right. We need to move you from that classical engineering mindset, lots of planning, rigid structures, to a more iterative, agile mindset.
And to understand why that shift is so necessary, we have to look at the old way.
The dinosaur in the room.
The notes call it the waterfall model.
Waterfall. It's the traditional software development lifecycle, or SDLC.
And it's called waterfall because the process just sort of flows downwards.
Yeah, exactly. One step after another. You can really swim back up.
Yeah.
So you start with requirements, then you do design, then implementation.
That's the coding part.
Right. Then verification, so testing.
Yeah.
And finally, maintenance.
It feels very logical, doesn't it? It's very orderly. It's how you'd build a bridge.
It is. You don't start pouring concrete for the deck until you finish the blueprints for the pylons.
No.
If you did, well,
The bridge would fall down.
exactly. And in civil engineering or manufacturing, waterfall is perfect. The cost of change is just astronomical. You can't just move a bridge foundation 3 feet to the left because the client changed their mind.
But software is different.
Software is, well, it's soft. It's malleable.
But for decades, we treated it like concrete. The notes list the issues with waterfall, and there is one bullet point here that I think anyone who's worked in a big company will feel in their bones.
Let me guess. The BRD.
Wasted time building business requirements, documents, BRDs that no one reads.
The dreaded BRD. This is the hallmark of the waterfall era. You spend months, maybe even a year, writing a document that's hundreds of pages long.
It details every single button, every interaction.
Then you get it signed off by 20 different people. It becomes this sacred text.
And the problem, according to the notes, is that changes are perceived as problems to be avoided.
Right, because you have this signed contract. If you want to change something, you have to reopen it, get new signatures, go through a whole change control board. It creates this massive friction.
So what happens? You just stop listening.
You stop listening to the customer. You just build what the document says, even if you know it's wrong.
And that leads to the Big Bang release.
You go to a cave for 2 years, build exactly what was in the BRD, you launch it, and crickets.
Or worse, anger.
Yeah, because the market moved on, or the user didn't actually know what they wanted until they saw something real. The notes include this fantastic visual. The tree swing cartoon.
Oh, I love the tree swing cartoon. It's been around for like 50 years, but it's still so painfully accurate.
It's perfect. It shows a series of panels depicting how different people on a project understood the same request.
Yeah, walk us through it.
Okay, so the first panel is how the customer explained it. And it shows a tree with this ladder-style swing. It has 3 rungs hanging from a branch.
Okay.
Then you have how the project leader understood it, which is a swing attached to 2 different branches, kind of weirdly suspended.
And then there's how the analyst designed it, where they've actually cut the tree trunk in half to make room for all the mechanics.
That's the over-engineering phase right there.
Totally. And then my personal favorite, how the programmer wrote it.
Ah, yes.
It's just the ropes tied to the trunk, lying on the ground, no seat, no swing, just ropes.
But the kicker is always that final panel, what the customer really needed.
And it's just a tire hanging from a rope.
Simple, cheap, fun.
That cartoon perfectly illustrates the waste in waterfall. We spent all this time and money designing a complex ladder swing.
When all we needed was to throw a tire over a branch. The notes use a really strong repetition here. Waste, waste, waste.
So, okay, we agree the old way is broken for software.
Yeah.
We need a new way.
Enter the hero of our story, Agile.
And Agile isn't a method you do, right? It's more of a philosophy.
Exactly. It's a philosophy you adopt. It was formalized back in 2001 with the Agile Manifesto. The notes highlight the 4 core value shifts. And it's important to remember these aren't binary. It's value this more than that.
Okay, let's break those down. First one, individuals and interactions over processes and tools.
This just means a 5-minute conversation is worth more than a Jira ticket. If you have a question, go talk to the developer.
Don't hide behind a process document.
Exactly.
Okay, second, working software over comprehensive documentation. Now, wait a minute. Does this mean we don't write any documentation?
No, and that's the most common myth.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean zero documentation.
Okay.
It just means documentation isn't the goal. In Waterfall, a signed document is a milestone. In Agile, the only milestone that really matters is working code.
Right. So if you have perfect docs but the software crashes, you fail.
You've failed. But if the software works perfectly and the docs are a little sketchy, you're winning.
Got it. Third, customer collaboration over contract negotiation.
This changes the whole relationship. Instead of the customer being an adversary you need a contract to protect yourself from, they become a partner.
You figure it out together.
Yeah.
And the big one, responding to change over following a plan?
This is the real shift. It's moving from predictive control to empirical control. In Waterfall, we pretend we can predict the future. We say, this module will take exactly 42 hours.
And we are always wrong.
Always. Agile just admits, hey, we don't know everything at the start, so instead of a map, we use a compass. We check our position constantly, and we adjust.
The notes also list the 12 principles of Agile, but one really stands out. It's almost Zen. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, is essential.
I love that definition of simplicity.
Yeah.
It's not about doing things simply. It's about aggressively not doing things that don't add value.
Are we building the ladder swing again?
Exactly. Stop. Build the tire. Maximizing work not done is the real secret to velocity.
So Agile is the philosophy, but you can't just tell a team, be Agile and expect magic, right? You need a framework.
And that is where Scrum comes in.
Right. Scrum is the most popular framework for actually implementing Agile.
It was co-created by Jeff Sutherland and Ken Schreiber back in the early 90s. The notes mention it was actually adapted from manufacturing models, like the Toyota production system, but for the new product development game.
Okay, so let's look at the who, the Scrum team. The notes identify 3 specific accountabilities. First up, the product owner.
The product owner is the voice of the customer.
Yep.
They are the single person responsible for what gets built.
So they manage the master list of features, the product backlog.
Yep. Their job is to prioritize. They have to decide that feature A is more important than feature B. They own the ROI, the return on investment.
Then there's the Scrum Master. I feel like this role often gets confused with a project manager.
It does, but they're polar opposites. The notes are explicit, not a project manager.
Okay.
A project manager directs work. You do this, you do that. A Scrum Master is a servant leader. Their job is to clear the path. They remove impediments.
So if the team needs a license, the Scrum Master gets it.
Right. If the CEO keeps interrupting the developers, the Scrum Master blocks the CEO, they protect the process so the team can actually focus.
And finally, the team itself, the developers.
A cross-functional group, usually 5 to 9 people. And here's the key. They are self-organizing.
Meaning?
The product owner tells them what to build, but the team decides how to build it. They estimate the work, they assign tasks to themselves. Management doesn't dictate the timeline, the team commits to it based on their own assessment.
Okay, that brings us to the how, the process. The heartbeat of Scrum is the sprint.
A sprint is basically a container. It's a fixed time box, usually 1 to 4 weeks. The syllabus implies the class is moving into sprints very soon, probably around the 23rd.
And the rule is consistency.
You pick a rhythm and you stick to it. You don't make one sprint 2 weeks and the next one 6.
So let's walk through the rituals, or the events of a sprint. It kicks off with sprint planning.
This happens on day 1. The product owner brings the top priority items from the product backlog. The team looks at them and says, okay, based on our history, we think we can handle these 5 stories.
And the notes make a distinction here between the product backlog and the sprint backlog.
Right. The product backlog is the big wish list. It's estimated broadly, maybe in days or points. The sprint backlog is the plan for this sprint.
And the team breaks those stories down into tasks, estimated in hours.
Hours. That's really granular.
It has to be, though. If you have a 2-week sprint, you can't have a task that takes 3 weeks. You need to know if you're on track every single day.
Which leads us to the daily Scrum, the stand-up.
The stand-up. This is often done wrong.
It is. It is not a status update for the boss. The notes are clear. This is for the team to sync. 15 minutes max. Standing up keeps it short.
You answer 3 questions. What did I do yesterday? What am I doing today? And
Do I have any impediments?
that third question is the most important one.
Absolutely. I'm blocked. My database connection isn't working. As soon as someone says impediment, the Scrum Master's job is to go fix it.
So you work through the sprint, and at the end, you have the sprint review.
This is the moment of truth. You demonstrate the working software,
Not a slide deck.
not a mock-up. You show the code actually running. The stakeholders, the client, the users, they give feedback right there. Oh, I thought that button would be blue.
And finally, the sprint retrospective.
The postmortem. But it's a blameless postmortem. The team just looks at their process. Why did we miss our goal? Did we communicate well? It's all about continuous improvement.
The notes describe a specific tool called the burn down chart.
Yeah, it's a simple graph. Vertical axis is work remaining. Horizontal is time. Ideally, you want a line that trends down to 0 by the end of the sprint.
It's all about transparency.
Exactly. If the line is flat, everyone sees it. You can't hide in Scrum.
That transparency sounds great, but it also sounds a little intimidating. The notes list some pros and cons.
Well, transparency is a pro and a con, right? It's great for the project, but it can be uncomfortable for people who are used to hiding their lack of progress.
Another challenge listed is unrestrained scope creep.
Yeah, because Scrum welcomes change. A weak product owner might let the client add too many things, and the project just never finishes.
And the notes warn that documentation gets neglected.
That is a real risk. Because we value working software more, sometimes we forget to write down how the API works, and 6 months later, nobody remembers. It takes discipline.
Okay, let's pivot to the nitty-gritty. We aren't just discussing this for fun. This is for Class 11 of CS326. According to the context, today is Friday, February 13th, 2026.
The Friday the 13th deep dive.
Oh,
Hopefully that's not an omen for your code.
let's hope not.
Yeah.
But looking at the syllabus and the notes, there are some very specific things you, the listener, need to do right now.
Next week is week 5. The focus is planning tasks from user stories. You need to take those high-level ideas and break them down into the hour-long tasks we just talked about.
And there is a hard date coming up, Monday, February 23.
That is your first sprint planning. By that date, the syllabus says everyone must have adequate work identified.
Which means you can't walk into class on the 23rd and ask, so what are we building?
No, you need a populated backlog.
To get that backlog, you need to talk to your client.
Yes. The notes say you need an initial set of user stories by the end of day, Friday, February 20th. That's next Friday. If you haven't engaged your client, whether that's the professor or the project prompt, you're already behind schedule.
We also have some required readings that are really classics in the field. First, The Pragmatic Programmer, Chapter 7, While You Are Coding.
That chapter is excellent. It deals with the reality of being in the code refactoring, testing, and not leaving broken windows or bad code that encourages more bad code.
And then The Mythical Man Month, Chapter 16, No Silver Bullet.
Frederick Brooks, a legend. He wrote this decades ago, but his argument still stands. There is no single magical technology or management technique, not AI, not even Scrum, that will give you a tenfold improvement in productivity overnight.
Software is just inherently complex.
It is. Scrum helps manage the mess, but it doesn't make the work effortless. It gives you actual control instead of the illusion of control you have in Waterfall, but you still have to do the work.
Speaking of silver bullets and modern tools, the notes mention the development shop environment includes something called the BitBuddy application.
Ah, yes, the AI access. The syllabus notes that thanks to a grant, the class has access to an LLM via BitBuddy. But there is a huge warning attached to this.
Academic integrity in AI. What's the rule?
If you use the LLM for code or design, citation is required. You have to include the BitBuddy payload ID. This is critical.
So using AI is part of modern development.
But claiming AI-generated code as your own is plagiarism. Simple as that.
And practically, there's a limit, isn't there?
There is. The token limit. You have a budget. Don't waste your tokens asking BitBuddy to write jokes or haikus about Scrum. Save them for the complex coding problems where you actually need help.
Use the tool, don't let the tool use you.
And remember Brooks's point. AI is a tool, not a silver bullet. It won't solve the architectural problems for you.
So to recap the mission, we are moving from waterfall, where we pretend to know everything up front, to agile and Scrum, where we inspect and adapt.
We are swapping the detailed blueprints of a bridge for the rapid iterations of a tire swing, moving from the illusion of certainty to the reality of empirical data.
I like that. So as we wrap up, let's go back to that agile principle. Simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done.
It's the most powerful productivity hack there is.
So here's the question for you, the listener, as you head into this project. What is the work not done that you should be maximizing right now? Are you polishing a document that no one will read? Are you building features that no one asked for?
Or are you actually building the swing?
Focus on the swing. Get those user stories ready for the 20th. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
Good luck with the sprint.